confidence. Too often we only ever feel confident when permitted. What I mean more specifically is when we feel like we fit in and are accepted by our peers. That, my friends, that is not real confidence. What that is simply blagging it until you make it. Sadly, there are many people in the world around us today that never make it. Why? Because they don't put the work in. It's as simple as that. Our brain is the most important muscle in our entire biology, although they all play their functioning role in synergy. But we feel confident in some environments and not in others, with certain people and not with others. Believe it or not, that overwhelming feeling can be reversed. But it will necessitate for you to do a little work. The work to recreate you. By doing this, everything starts with the brain. To develop any skill, emotion, or emotional intelligence, we must retrain the brain. Everything lies within the brain. It controls us. Our mood, temperament, character, and personality, how we think, how we act, react, deliver, learn, and aspire, only to name a few. That's a heck of a lot of functions for any machine. No wonder it sometimes gets a little bogged down by hot air. Think of this entire metamorphosis as an opportunity for an MOT of yourself. Believe it or not, right now, if you don't already, you will by the end. We all have the capacity to experience confidence in any situation and at any time. Here I will share with you all the techniques I have learned thus far in my life that have helped me take this journey and reach the finishing line. However, if you're anything like me, you'll be a lifelong learner. I will probably be popping back here in a year's time or in 10 years to add more techniques I've learned to share with you to help you in any way I possibly can. First and foremost, confidence is not arrogance. They are entirely different, and frankly, I struggle to be tolerant of anyone who debates this. To begin with, I'd like to ensure that you know that there are two types of confidence. The first, the superficial kind, think keeping up with the Joneses. That's the immature, insecurity, and need to be accepted. Then there's the real deep, honest confidence when you own who you are. You can stride into any social occasion and not feel like your chest is going to burst or you're going to fall over in those ridiculously high stilettos that were way overpriced. And well, comfort and those new shoes don't belong in the same sentence. As you embark on this journey, it is crucial that you differentiate between arrogance and true confidence. This will aid you well if anyone ever attacks you and makes false allegations, because truly confident people always attract allegations and attacks, unjustifiably accusing you of being arrogant as opposed to confident because they aren't able to differentiate between the two attributes. It's impossible to be too confident. We need confidence to survive life, from the general sense right through to the more complex. True confidence is truly humble and is truly vulnerable. That is why, at least in part, this type of discovery, self-discovery, is referred to by professors and professionals akin as emotional intelligence. There's so much intelligence to be tapped into just by knowing ourselves so well. Over time, we can get to know mankind better too. Understanding perspectives without needing to have stood in that person's shoes and see what they've seen. Because we will be intelligent enough to know we don't need to be hardcore. Emotional intelligence allows us to hone in on true vulnerability, in turn becoming better humans. If you didn't know, most truly honest, confident people don't sit around and think of confidence and how to develop it. Isn't that wild? Because they think differently to the rest of us. Keep this in the secret dorms of your mind. The moment you cross the line into self-importance, self-indulgence, and ego-driven thinking and ego behavior, you have stepped out of confidence. Arrogance isn't attractive. It shouldn't be even attractive to self. But confidence, there is no greater seduction. Confidence should be a true seduction that captures your full attention and steals your full devotion. Falsehood, One of the many barriers that exist in holding people back from attaining self-confidence is believing all the wrong and unfounded things. Listening to common gossip and not tried and tested functional applications, not doing your own due diligence, educating yourself, delving in deeper. Many believe that it boils down to whatever set of circumstances one was born into, education and background, or even wilder yet, genetics. I know that life also takes its toll on our confidence as we run the course of time. Too often leaves us feeling like we're running a gauntlet we can never win. Friends who come and go, friends betrayal, family betrayals, fleeting romances, broken down long-term romances, even marriages, loss and illnesses, bullying and discrimination. All of this is like a bad headache. The wear and tear can be repaired. Recovery can begin. It can begin today. It can begin right now. Use what I share with you in increments if it helps you better. There is no right or wrong way. Cherry picking is just fine. But remember, reading without action, listening without action, learning without action will not aid you. You must apply these techniques to reap their benefits. There is no particular place that you need to start. You just need to start, preferably where you feel most comfortable or at the point you feel you need the most work on, or the part that resonates with you most. Also remember that as in life, we often reap the same processes until something becomes routine. Like working out, going to work, and going for a daily walk. Repetition is what it takes to master anything and everything. That saying, practice makes perfect, duly earned his reputation. To build in confidence, what you are doing is replicating good habits until it becomes your automatic habits. From day one, realize that confidence is not an external matter. It begins within you. Too often we have the belief that we will be happy, fulfilled, confident when we're millionaires, when we win the Euro Millions, 100 million jackpot. We don't have anything to live for until that day. Wrong. Not that 100 million or even a million injected into our lives wouldn't be nice. Of course it would. But it will not make you happy alone. It will not fulfill you alone. It will not make you confident alone. The beautiful reality is confidence is like any other emotion. It's an emotional state, meaning it triggers our brain. Certain triggers will stimulate our brain, and it is that stimuli that we interpret as confidence. All that truly is perception and perspective. Like any emotional state, emotions are fleeting. Kind of like the heartless lover who dumped us over WhatsApp. No explanation, just c'est la vie. It might help to understand what states are. States are simply electrochemical reactions in the brain. These reactions are triggered by a combination of what you are thinking about, what you are doing with your body, and the perception of the world around you. Emotional states can be just as quick to come as they are to flee. What I loved learning when I started this journey was finding out that these stimuli were within my control. I spent too many years believing that my brain was the driver, the pilot, the captain, and I did what it told me to do. I was at its beck and call. And trust me when I say, I don't like being at anybody's beck and call, not even my brain. Wrong. I dictate to my brain. I tell it how I want to run. It can only give me what I feed into it. Like the motherboard of a computer, we are the first computers ever created. All this negative feeling is just what we have wired as our default. We've done it to ourselves. We got comfortable in the wrong gear. Time to change it up a gear or two. But remember, you should never limit yourself. Maybe make it 3 or 4 next year. I know all about low energy. And it is the low energy that isn't serving anyone on planet Earth well. But revving things up a bit is out of our comfort zone, but it is what we need to get to the next level. That should tell you that you need to change comfort zone. Low energy people may or may not have the rightfully gotten there through many bumps in the road of life. I know it can be hard to get right back up when someone has knocked you down, metaphorically speaking, of course. I hope. In reality, all that it is our perceptions working against us. We're giving all the wrong things most of our energy, and then we dwell upon it, giving it more energy and draining ourselves. And I hope that the day comes when you get frustrated with being frustrated with whatever it was or whoever it was that put you in that state of mind. People with low energy can practice all day long the stature of a high energy, truly confident person on the outside, and it wouldn't do them any good because they don't truly believe it. You have to believe in yourself first and foremost. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You do not have to convince anyone else but yourself. If you don't believe in you, your abilities, your capabilities, your ambitions, and your passions, you will never get past the start line. Confidence isn't one thing alone. It's an accumulation of wires that connect. It is self-belief, self-awareness, self-control, effort, determination, foresight, ambition. It is a way of being, almost like a revolution. It's like stepping out of your body and into a new body that looks just like you and every feature exactly the same, but with one crucial difference. As you step into your new bodily home, you notice the difference immediately. You feel differently. You feel better, perfect even. You've never felt this way before. When you realize and start practicing the fact and not the myth about confidence, you need to remember that confidence is a feeling we get as a result of what we think, do, and say. Don't be so hard on yourself that you forget that everyone is confident in something. Everything you do well drives the stimuli. Anything you've done on repeat and mastered drives the stimuli. In so doing, develops and nurtures your confidence. And in so doing, nurtures your routine. Doing something well and receiving good results is an instant confidence builder and gratification, stemming back to self-belief. The secret in reliving this every day is so easy. Confidence is dictated by something different to everyone and feeling different to different people. We each must determine what confidence looks like to us. What are we trying to achieve? Then do it daily. That is literally all it takes. It's that simple. And over time, you will master that piece of sunshine. Then, when you're not doing it for one reason or another, think about it and relive those periodic moments of happiness you felt when you were participating in the act, even if you're commuting to work or back home at the end of the day. If you were doing something, replay it over in your mind. If you were speaking, repeat the words aloud or even in silence and recreate that feeling of happiness you felt at that time when it was in real time. It's not just the doing, it's also the way you stand, the way you speak, the way you look at people, the way you react to negativity and positivity, to dreaded criticism, fake or any other. You will also have to practice the way you stand and hold yourself, how you hold yourself when you're silent and when you're engaged in conversation with others, how you speak as in tempo, tone, vocabulary, vernacular, how you smile, how you hold your shoulders, your neck, your hands, and how you arrange your feet while standing and seated, and how you hold eye contact. Make day one the day you'd make a moment to recall the last time you felt confident. What were you doing? Where were you? Who were you with? What was it that made you happy about that moment in time? Who was it with that made you happy in that moment in time? Then close your eyes and cast your memory back. Sample that moment all over again. The sensation, the scent if you can, the temperature if possible, the corners of the space you occupied, the season, and conjure up the sentiment of that moment and hold it and enjoy. And keep going back there whenever you necessitate a top-up and a reminder what you were making the effort to develop your confidence for. This is why. The brain knows no bounds. We can train it to do anything more than what we can train our physical form to do. We can train it to work for us or against us. It could be our ally or our enemy. However, there is one negative to the brain capacity. It doesn't do well with determining what is real and what is imagined. Ever have one of those vivid dreams and you wake to confusion, not knowing if what you just saw, heard and experienced was real or not? See what I mean? What my point is, when we imagine ourselves doing something or achieving something that we perceive to be the thing that will bring us confidence, duping our brain into seeing it and what we can feel like real time, even if it is all imagination, is tricking our brain into believing it. Hence why lie detector tests aren't always solid. If a perpetrator of a heinous crime had a mental inability or truly couldn't remember committing the crime and took a lie detector test, they couldn't honestly deny the crime and it wouldn't register. Because effectively the brain is telling the body it isn't lying for one reason or another. Or extreme psychopaths and sociopaths who lack empathy, they can block out emotions. Today's takeaway. Confidence is a feeling that we get as a result of what we think, what we do with our body, and how we perceive the world around us. These combine to create a neurological and biological response in the body. When the right combination of chemicals can come alive and has the right receptors in the body, we feel confident. This means that confidence can be triggered and tapped into at any time. Yes, honestly, at any time. Emotional states are completely transient, changing moment to moment. We control and influence these emotions through our thinking, psychology, and our language. And honestly, we can create structures and habits that become our new routine that ensure that confidence becomes our new default in existence, and in turn making us the happiest people we possibly could ever be and probably will ever know. The more time spent in any state, the easier it is to reaccess, keeping in mind that the lack of confidence, fear and doubt are states of mind that can become habit too. Now that you understand what confidence is, what are you going to do about it? That is your decision. For this week, I will leave you with that thought to decide. Hope you'll pop around again next time.